Hey all, my name is Paul Borosky and I am the owner of Quality Business Plan, and what I'd like to do today is to show y'all how to customize a basic profit and loss slash cash budget template. I want to show y'all how to customize that type of template to use in a food hall business plan. So without further ado, let's go ahead and mosey on through this little PowerPoint presentation that I have prepared for you. And first and foremost, in order to customize a profit and loss statement, or in order to customize a cash budget statement, we actually need a template, a cash budget and a profit and loss template. So if y'all are in need of a profit and loss template and a cash budget template, just scroll on over to qualitybusinessplan.com/financial projections for a business plan. And once there, scroll down to where it says downloadable basic profit and loss and cash budget template. There is a cost to purchase my template, but if you do, what's going to happen is you are going to download an Excel file that looks similar to this. It has two tabs, a profit and loss tab, and on the profit and loss tab, you're going to have your profit and loss right here, and then you're going to have your little data blocks right here that we're going to complete. And as we complete these data blocks, all this information is going to fill out for us. Also, you're going to have a second tab on this profit and loss statement. And again, 90% for this section right here, 90% of this information is going to be filled out from your profit and loss. We just have a little bit of information to customize, customize information. And then voila, you're going to have a cash budget statement as well. All right, so when customizing this kind of a template, what I do recommend you all do is go ahead and add an advanced section to your plan. Now, if you don't want to add the plan, if you want this already done, contact me and I can go ahead and send you the information. In order to customize the template, I do recommend adding an advanced section to it. In the advanced section, it's going to be three categories, which are going to be revenues. Structure is similar to this. You're going to need labor. Structure is similar to this. And then your rent and utilities, you want to break it down similar to some kind of a structure like this. So once you add this kind of a structure, then what we'll do is we'll start right at the top, and once we get to the bottom, we'll finish. So for your data block, in the general category, what we need to enter is your tax rate. For the most part, an excellent starting point for a tax rate is going to be 20%. Interest on loans, this is going to be how much money you're going to be paying every month in loans. The loans could be a mortgage for the food hall facility. It could be interest on a business loan that you take out for starting your food hall, or it could be credit cards, credit card interest as well. So we're going to go with $500 for interest on loans. The next thing we need to do is average sales price. So we're going to start looking at the revenue. So we're going to go down to revenues. In this particular example right here, we are saying that we're going to have 5 tenants, and the tenants are going to be paying on a monthly basis. So let's say the lease for tenant number 1 is $4,000, $4,500 for tenant number 2, $5,000 for tenant number 3, $5,500, tenant number 4, and then $6,000 for tenant number 5. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to figure out what our variable costs are going to be. Excuse me. And the variable costs could include anything from additional electric and water that you're going to be paying to the additional services you might need for air conditioning repairs and something like that. Who knows? But your variable cost, we're going to say, is going to be $150 per tenant, regardless of the size. All right, so once we have this information, the next thing we're going to do for our food hall revenues is going to be, we're going to total up our leases that we're going to be collecting. So we'll type in an equal sign, sum, open up a parenthesis, and then we're going to highlight all of our tenants and hit enter. And so this tells us right here that we're going to be pulling down approximately $25,000 a month. Next thing we need to do is we need to figure out what our variable costs are. We'll type in sum, open up a parenthesis, highlight all of our variable costs, close it, and hit enter. And then once that's done, we need to go ahead and we'll skip over the average section, but for the variable cost, we need it as a percentage. So we're going to go ahead and type in the equal sign here. We're going to click on $750. We're going to divide that by the 25,000 and hit enter. And so that tells us that our variable costs on average are going to be about 3%. So now that we have that information, we're going to go up to our average sales price. We're going to hit equal sign, and we're going to click on the 25,000. Number of sales per day, we're going to put 1, and then the number of work days per month, we're going to put 1 as well. So what this means is that we are collecting $25,000 a month. So that's kind of how you customize the revenue section. The next thing is growth. We may have 10 spaces for leasing in our food hall. So we don't know, we know for certain we're going to have 5, and then we don't know how often we're going to be able to add some more. So we're going to put a growth rate in of 5%. That just says, eventually, we do anticipate growing, and we're going to be increasing our revenues on a monthly basis because more tenants are going to be jumping in. All right, next section is going to be the variable cost. To fill out the variable cost, we've already done our calculations here, so we'll type in the equal sign. We'll go down here and click on variable cost as a percentage, hit enter, and that'll be all done. Next section, we're going to need labor and salary. So we're going to scroll down to our advanced section again. For salary, we're going to go ahead and type in however much we want to pay ourselves or the executive team. Then we need to go ahead and figure out how many employees are we going to have. So we're going to say we've got 2 full-time employees at about $12 an hour, and then 1 part-time employee at about $10 an hour. Whoops. So once we have that information, and now for the hours right here, what this means is if it's 174 hours, this means that they're working 174 hours a month. That's about 40 hours a week. Same thing with this section. And then 87 hours for the hours. If it's 87 hours, that means they're part-time. All right, next thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and figure out what the monthly payment is for the employees. So we'll take the $12 and we'll multiply that by the 174 and hit enter. Once we do that, we're then going to go ahead and go to the bottom right-hand corner. We're going to drag the box down. That's going to do our calculations for the other 2 employees. All right, so next thing what we need to do is we need to total up how much we're paying our employees total. So we'll type in the equal sign, type in sum, open up a parenthesis, then we'll highlight our 3 employees, close the parenthesis and hit enter. So now we've got our employees, and the final step is going to be adding the salary and the employees. So we'll do the equal sign, click on the salary, hit the addition sign, and then click on the employee total, close, and then just hit enter. And now we have our labor section complete. So we'll go up here to salary and labor, hit equal. Then we'll go ahead and click on the total, hit enter. And that section automatically populates for us. And the next thing is going to be rent and utilities. So let's say we're going to pay $3,500 in rent. Electric's going to be $250. Water is going to be $125, and the phone is going to be $100. So once we have our fixed cost all taken care of, we need to add it up. Will be equal sign sum, open up a parenthesis. Then we'll highlight all of our fixed costs, close the parenthesis, and we will then go up here to the fixed cost section, hit an equal sign, click on the total for the fixed cost, hit enter, and now that's all set, ready to go. Next thing we need to do now is just estimate our advertising. We'll say it's $2,500 a month. Insurance, we'll say is $500, insurance, legal, and other, and then $450 for miscellaneous. And now all of our fixed costs are taken care of. The next thing we need to do is estimate how much our fixed costs are going to grow on a monthly basis. We're going to say that our fixed costs are going to grow by 1%. Salary and labor should be pretty consistent. Utilities might vary. The more tenants we have, the higher utilities are going to be. Advertising, we might fluctuate, again, based on need. Insurance, and then miscellaneous. So we're going to say that our fixed costs are going to be growing at 1% a month. So once we finish that, what we now have is a usable profit and loss statement for our food hall, and we've also got all of our costs and revenues pretty much justified down here in our advanced section that we can include into a business plan. Now we can go ahead and take a look at how to do a cash budget. Now here's a sweet little thing. when we do our profit and loss statement, excuse me, when we do our profit and loss statement, we fill out all this information. 90% of everything we need is automatically calculated for our annual cash budget. The only thing we then need to do is determine what our cash sales are going to be in our starting balance. Now, for a food hall, we're collecting our money. We're going to be collecting our money up front on the first of the month. So our cash sales, we're going to say, are going to be 2,500. It's going to be 100% cash sales. We're going to be collecting the money every month. The next thing we need to figure out is what our starting cash balance is going to be. For this example, we're going to say it's $50,000. Once we enter those two sections right there, we now know what our cash position is going to be at the end of every month. And so, for example, we know at the month 6, we're going to have a surplus of $122,000. So this might be between month 5 and month 6. Might be a great time for an expansion. It might be a great time to do some kind of remodeling or what have you. And if we want to budget that in, then we'll just go right over to other costs. Let's say in month 6, we're going to go ahead and do a remodel. And it's going to cost us $75,000. So we can go ahead and put that cost in there at that particular amount of time, and it's going to tell us what our ending cash balance is going to be after that change has been made. So hopefully this information is helpful, and it gives you some really good insights on how to customize a template for use in a food hall or a food hall business plan. And all right, so in summary, if y'all need some assistance with the customizing your profit and loss statement, just go to my website. And if y'all need some assistance with completing the plan and you don't want to complete it, you'd like me to complete it, not a problem. Just go ahead and contact me at this number right here, or send me an email, and I would be delighted to go ahead and put together your financial model and your financial statements for your food hall business plan. Just reach out to me, and hopefully this information was helpful. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, and if you need some help, give me a call. Thank you.